to the home of the greatest MLBB player in the world. We're still watching Philippines Season 12. After the pack series, we're now down to the final matchup of the evening. Clash once more in the MPL. One season have passed and the White Tigers are still yearning for their much awaited.
Witness another chapter of these two teams' rivalry that roots back in their amateur days. You know who Dynamo is, Rock Art and Hands, and yes, the on the fourth series of the ONIC Philippines versus MNNE Evos for the first time this season. How are you guys feeling about this?
Feeling fire right now. I feel like this is the perfect to actually close out the first half of the season.
Yeah.
A lot of history between the players, everyone's looking forward to it. Social media for sure.
I'm excited. Way before this moment even started. Explore. Will this go game 2? Will this go game 3? I don't even know.
Legends are born in MPL Philippines. You pay like a legend with Maya Philippines. Score in addition exclusive Maya. Those edition cards with my name SX on banking days.
Don't you want your card friends instead of always sex?
I'm thinking of changing my name. Some point different MPL.
Fair enough.
Because this from the name of back then.
Yeah.
Now he's Hands.
Yeah. That's something I could use.
Yeah. This
is like my very card.
Yeah. I'm beside Carl.
I wish I had a card, but it doesn't have any money.
Yeah. So what's the point, right? I mean, OSX has all the money. That's why he wants a card.
Not true. All of us could get this. Can MNNE Evos finally clap back against ONIC Philippines? Again, their roots are taking it back to the amateur days. Even before stepping into the MPL stage, both teams have already developed a heated rivalry in their amateur days. So let's go back and check on to the graphics on our screens to differ and see what is the difference on how this rivalry went back then in their own. Can you guys? I know you've seen. Come on.
As you can see,
you also like in a sweep or maybe in like a 3-game series, but it doesn't matter at this point because it's all about MNNE. If they can land a game against the current and the champions, then who knows? Maybe they can finally have the moment to themselves in the professional scene.
yeah, for MNNE, I feel like they're just, I don't know, something's coming out of nowhere. These guys fighting off against RSG, and then also taking a game against Echo. I mean, who would have thought that was possible at this point, right?
Yeah, speaking of a factor of a burst and a surprise for MNNE Evos, they actually had a way of taking a point out of RSG as well as Echo that Vince and Rockhart mentioned. And I say when yesterday, I think that was, yes, Friday, they're both doing tag for that day was like MPL Philippines Season 12, the right mix. And MNNE had definitely found the right mix. And that was the debut of the Mathilda and the Benedetta. I say stick. Don't do it again on how the concussive, because that was a different story. But the in lane, Benedetta is a monster, and he's also a.
And pick heroes that have high micro possibilities, high skill ceilings. For Lord JM, I think is the way for MNNE. He plays heroes like the Paquito, and I'm pretty sure he'll play the Benedetta in the same fashion.
Which is especially the reason why, if we're going to take a look at like the team head-to-head matchups that we're going to be having in just a few minutes, you can see that the priority of the team, it's the bans for at the side of MNNE Evos is going to be for Lord JM. So you really have make sure that you can give your XP laner a very good hero that can make some certain plays that would be very beneficial to your side, especially now that you're gonna take note of ONIC Philippines. Is it Gem playing? Is it another XP
What's the
playing?
mix
I don't
today?
even know.
That's a good question.
Actually, the word mix actually connects with ONIC Philippines as well.
Yeah.
They have so many.
And I have to reiterate, we're going for again.
In the last. Let's throw it up.
Basta kayo dyan.
Game na dito yung isang player ng ONIC Philippines, si Boss A.
Kaya naman, handang-handa kami. Ayan.
Ngayon parang may something sa'yo Ano masasabi mo ba kay Nabanubs at Minana?
Yung Minana kasi nung pasok nila sa season 11, ang inuna nila hype. Puro mga influencers. Kami inuna namin practice.
Okay. So ibig sabihin puro hype. Puro hype.
Puro hype lang.
Puro hype. Mara, puro hype lang daw.
Okay,
Ang
okay.
Minana, yun yung nakuha ko.
Parang nararamdaman ko na yung tempo sa mangyayari ngayon. Alam mo, kailangan natin ipagtanggol ang Minana Evos. We are gonna settle this. Alright, feeling ko may comeback kay Boss A
Kasi kung usapan trash talk lang, baby ka pa.
Oh!
Baby daw! Baby pa daw!
Ano masasabi mo? Baby ka pa daw. Payag ka ba nun? Payag ka ba nun? Baby ka pa daw.
Kung usapang ML, dahil
Oh! Mas pipiliin ko maging baby. Mas pipiliin ko maging baby, no? Kesa dinosaur.
Naku!
Dinosaur daw, Mara. Dinosaur.
Kasi wala siyang baby eh.
Oh! Doon na pumupunta, men. Parang doon na pumupunta.
Wala palang baby.
Parang doon na pumupunta.
Kami may nice one, baby, eh.
Ano sagot mo?
okay lang, marami naman dyan.
Oh! Nag-iba.
Marami daw dyan, pero hindi natin alam kung yan.
Oo nga eh. So girls, ingat kayo May playboy. Yung nakalista na pro player, para sa Wikipedia lang.
Oh! Boy.
Sa Wikipedia lang!
Liquipedia daw. Liquipedia daw. Liquipedia. Wala, nakalista ka lang daw. Nagpalista ka lang daw. Ano ba yun? Sayang daw yung picture. Ano yun?
Mga aspiring pro players, ingat din kayo dyan Kasi si Banubs pumasok lang sa ML para sabihin na sa ML scene lang daw siya ulit.
Oh!
Yung panahon ko kasi, ako, esports na ako, tapos trash talker ako, hindi ka pa pinapanganak eh.
Oh!
Dota, yung mga old school gamers dyan, alam nyo ang trash talking days. Pero to, baby pa talaga to.
Baby ka daw, boy.
Baby!
Boy, huwag ka magpapatalo. Boss A, alam mo, huwag ka magpapatalo. Ano masasabi mo sa laruan ng Minana, men? Ano masasabi mo?
Baby nga ako, pero ngayon lumalabel ka sa akin.
Oh!
Eh di lumalamang na ako.
Oh!
Lumalamang
Boy,
ba?
lumalamang daw.
Lumalamang ba sila?
Di ayoko naman kasi tumatrash to ka sa hangin. Kaya binibigyan kita ng
Boy, kailangan mo sagutin. Ako na nagsasabi sa'yo. Yung mangyayari mamaya, hindi mo alam ang mangyayari. Sagutin mo na kung ako sa'yo.
Ito yung dinosaur, ang daming sinasabi, pero 4-1 yung score namin sa kanila.
Oh.
Manalo ka muna.
No, Mara, manalo daw muna.
Anong sasabihin natin dyan? Manalo daw muna tayo.
excited na nga ako eh. Game na.
Game na daw! Game na, pero maglalaro na, boss!
Maglalaro ka ba?
Maglalaro ba?
Maglalaro ako pag lalaro siya.
Ano, ulit.
Maglalaro ako pag lalaro si Banu.
Maglalaro daw siya kung maglalaro si Banubs.
Kung may showmatch lang, magkakalaman.
Okay.
Okay. Mainit na.
Mainit dito. Hindi natin also.
Coach Boss A runs those two guys from Coach Manu was here before Boss A was even born.
I mean, that's actually true because I was there as well, so I would know, right? But it was actually his. He's been in esports for a long time, like
Yeah.
way before mobile gaming was a thing. He was actually mobile as well, so that's actually correct. That's actually a fact.
Yeah.
As for Boss A, though, I feel like obviously he has. It's rooted differently, right?
Yeah. And to say, and for Banoobs to say that because you want to be part of Liquipedia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dang it, bro. I don't even know what I was supposed to say, but at this point, at least they're 4-1. They're on the lead, so whatever happens in this game, they're still on the lead anyway.
Okay, just by game number 1, let's see what's gonna happen there.
Right.
Here, the Busian, the famous warg of Minana Evos, all out. We take them all. And now we just go back to the context. We're seeing the lineup of ONIC Philippines. Also to check, Percy in.
Winningest. I think so far, right? From
Yeah.
last week or sorry, was that yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, from yesterday, it's Yoshino, but again,
Last week.
Percival went up against Backless International. We remember that very,
Yeah,
very well because of how good he played with like the Kuf pairing up with and nets with the other time around. It's Brusco, it's Boyet, it's Dom, Ask Help.
Still the same. We're kind of expecting that Spider Mouse would actually be in their roster.
The lineup that playing the right mix between about that.
Right? The Evos, this is
The combination of be working well with each other.
Yeah, and look at the head-to-head because two main use has been using for in terms of like the hero pool of Minana has the switch up in they also 63
leading turmoil on. Controlled by ONIC. Down the statistics. It's not too far, but one thing also shines on ONIC Philippines is how they make their team fights stronger against Minana Evo.
Yeah, these stats actually just they have been this week as well. So earlier, sudden skill, sudden burst of passion coming in, and that's
and they don't show noobs or boss A in those statistics. So there's just much action and the passion that Rockhart was mentioning a while ago. Be boss went into action, and I'm not gonna be surprised if this is gonna go game 3. But hey, depending on the situation.
Let's see how game number 1 works. Either from these two teams. Let's head on to the draft and see what is the priority now. But before so to do what you need to do.
Alright, man, I got you. On Beans and Minana Evos are brought of course by fast gameplay. Let's go over to the side of ONIC Philippines. You have the cards. I'm talking about the flip-flop, the flipping of the switches, whether it's going to be Gem or it's going to be another person, maybe Rapidude. This time around, Perks about to surprise the rest of the members coming in from Minana Evo. Just go ahead and pick another hero for themselves because we're going to have a little bit more. It's pedal to the metal. As cliche as it sounds, is currently at the 7th spot of our standings. They're getting a huge boost for to make sure that they can continue to play in the playoff, especially now that we are already in the halfway point. So they need to adjust as fast as they can. They did that against Echo, and hopefully they can do that against their arch rivals. And for both, you have time, and it's time to walk the talk. But Noobs and Boss A talked the talk a while ago. So it's going to be up to their players to walk the walk at this point. Because again, it's a storied franchise. It's a story, rivalry for both of these teams, and they really need to be able to execute very well. Minana Evos on the other hand is going to be one that really has to rely on Snowball. Meanwhile, ONIC mechanics are on point, and that is what they need to make sure that they can win the series.
Thank you so much, Sona. That was the Infinix keys to victory. With all of the hype now with the match, the third one, time to walk the talk. We need to see the translation on how this match is going to settle. Because from the Bruin rivalry that we've kind of the storyline of Minana Evos and ONIC Philippines, it always goes to check how did you guys make progress? Number one, and then they didn't have any easy opponents. They were up against Blacklist, they were up against RSG, they were up against Echo. And how will they face this familiar foe second time around? And yeah, it's Jam on the EXP lane. How is the head-to-head now looking against Lord JM AR?
I mean, Lord matchup, or actually the player head-to-head here. Of course, Jam is going to be able to take the KDA because they've won more matches compared to the side of Minana Evos. But this is something that you have to take note of: team fight participation. The way that the way that Lord JM is actually initiating in terms of the fight is already him participating in terms of the battle in itself. So in addition to that, Lord JM has more average damage compared to Gem, who's more with a sustaining hero. So it's something that they could use on early on in this matchup.
Speaking of using early on, you think Rockhart's thing of predicting on Series 2 and 3, you were actually pointing out that something might show up. We were talking about the assassin metas could actually rise against the supports. Do you think this will be the great avenue of Minana Evos to take against ONIC Philippines?
Did I say that?
Yeah, we were talking about the assassin possible
right.
show-ups here today.
I mean, maybe last series, yes, but here I don't think so. Obviously, we've seen last game there. They banned out the trinity of junglers right now. The Baksha, the Fredrin as well. So I don't know. If you ban those out, I feel like it's easy to go for the Martis as well.
Even the Lancelot's available.
But I don't think these are two teams that don't really ban those heroes out. So I'm sure those are still gonna be in the jungle picks for both of them.
Well, let's see how this one goes, because the Martis is the most favored one. The support meta is just showing in most of our time here in Saturday. So let's see how this one goes for Minana Evos and ONIC Philippines. It's draft number 1. Let's see what is the priority. Will it be the Benedetta and the Matilda again on how Minana started their good day against Echo? Let's see how this one goes.
Benedetta's still open for both of the teams, right? I'm thinking here of how the adjustment for the side of ONIC Philippines will be, because we're not used to seeing Perxiva use support heroes such as the Rafaelas, the Matildas, and Angelas, which are both banned as at the moment. So the usual tendency for both of the teams, or for all of the MPL teams that we're seeing so far, is that whenever Matilda and Angela is finally out, that's an opportunity for us to just go back to the usual method that we had. Stick with the setter heroes such as the Kufras, maybe the Kaja, who is still available at this point.
Yeah, Valentina first pick, I don't mind it, but obviously some teams would love to kind of just secure the Fredrin for them, maybe the Baksha, just to make sure they have they have that solid front line. Minotaur earlier as well, but there it is. There's a Fredrin, as you would expect. Once heroes like the Angela are banned out, although the Florian would actually give this some problems.
Then the Valentina.
Valentina's good, as you see. I personally when I play Fredrin, I just don't like facing off against heroes like the Florian. It makes my life so hard. But there it is. There's the obvious answer.
Yeah.
Baksha is out finally today. He's been banned most of our games.
Yeah.
And with the Valentina having the advantage for ultimates out of ONIC Philippines, we see an Irithel pick up right away for ONIC Philippines, and you see the contention, and we see the shift of the meta from the post-patch. So they now priority more of the mobility and the sustain.
Yeah, it seems like the mission here is for the Fredrin to just be the tank, a little bit of a sponge to get a little bit more damage, and items on the other hand for the Irithel. I was thinking of like a Yu Zhong for the side of Minana, because it could play very well going up against the Irithel, but knowing that the Lilia was finally picked here by the side of ONIC Philippines, they're gonna need the late game. Yes, for them to sustain. To have
the driver that they know, and the driver fast. That's the perks of, no pun intended. That's the perks of having to answer that with. So Lilia coming in for Super Prince is actually pretty big.
Yeah.
I feel like the Lilia's severely underutilized here in this meta so far.
They have more ways. They have more ways of using her from the mid and from the mobility and as well as the rotation. But Sona, you've seen the ban out here from the X-Borg and the Kaja. There's no tanks yet present.
Although there is an opportunity for the side of MNNE Evos to pick a Rafaela.
Let's
Rafaela
go.
is something that they've been using for quite some time. But given the lineup coming in from the side of ONIC Philippines, it's quite hard to execute just because of the fact that the Lilia is already there. The Glooms are going to be present from the early to the later portions of the game. But okay. Hello there, Reptar.
Rep AR.
Rep
Sorry,
AR.
it's Rep AR.
Oh, sorry.
How is he
that's
part
my
of
bad.
the roster?
Because again, it's AR in the last part of his name, so it
That
kind of
is
makes sense.
Exactly it.
Kind of makes sense, but he's not officially part of it, right? He's not
That's a
officially
joke.
part of
It's a
it.
joke,
That's
guys.
an MPL multiverse that you guys just saw.
Yeah.
Because Rockhart has AR as well in his name. So
Oh,
it's a
no, I don't.
possibility.
But the thing is, for you to be an honorary member of MNNE Evos, AR should be the
the very last.
Yeah, at the
Yeah.
very last. He still has a T, so it's just RT, right? So
Okay.
yeah. As much as I want it to count, it doesn't count at this point. Sorry, Rockhart.
I wasn't actually, I don't mind. I don't mind.
Okay, fair
okay.
enough. You guys made a great point about that AR. But how about the point of the AXP lane bans here? They took a good ban as well with a glue from MNNE Evos, also to Rizla. And you have
There's
your
a
Yuzong. Oh, Midnight, I'm calling you now. That's a
It's
Yuzong.
Yuzong, man.
So how is this now with MNNE Evos? Did you guys mentioned in the first phase? Not too late for MNNE Evos to say, oh, we're not yet done.
I love the Yuzong pick coming in from one just the second skill. Then when it reached the point where it's gonna be not enough for the side of ONIC Philippines to just continue to sustain. What's up there, Ding? Ding, former member of the side of MNNE Evos back then when they were next play.
Cool.
But going back to what I was saying a while ago, Lord JM needs to represent Ding very well because he needs to find the back line, search for the intel, and stop him on his tracks before he gets his items.
Speaking of getting items, looks like they have a great way to penetrate some backline team fights. All right,
There's
from
the
ONIC,
Kufra.
that's the Kufra you guys were
Very
talking about. The
classic
Arlets, despite of
Yeah.
the change of this XP lane hero, great plays that we're about to see with this.
Rafaela.
Rafaela could be the answer now.
Rafaela.
Does Brusco play Rafaela though?
I
Because
don't-
we
I don't
we
think-
saw Lancy play the Rafaela,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
the thing is, does Brusco already have this in him? Does he have that dog in him?
Mind you, Sona, Hans, Galleria.
What?
Today we've seen Hitman turned heel man.
Yeah.
Everything is possible today. And a lot of banners as well. So I think this could be a thing for Saturdays. But for the healing part, maybe this could be the new change for the roamer of MNNE Evos to actually even adapt. And TNC gave a win when they adapted to
Or
use the
Diggy.
Matilda.
Yeah.
So will the support healing be the answer? I
Oh,
think that's
it's a
not
Grok.
Rafaela. That was a Mel. That was a cat.
We're hyping up Rafaela.
Yeah,
whatever.
Now she asked me to hype up Rafaela.
Yeah. Played like the game 3, and he was so happy that Rafaela was buffed so much.
Yeah, speaking of just the buff of Rafaela, I hope we see her in the next game. But
The side lane. So
Milan has more advantage. Like dominant.
right there. Max the early hits. Ability of a everyone. Look at him. Can't even move. Oh my goodness, that is such dominance here coming in from MNNE. They got the turtle
Wow.
and they get the kills.
they got him surrounded at that point. MNNE Evos got him tried inside using the extra dash, but unfortunately for him, there was just too many tanky heroes. This is what we're thought about, right? He faced the Boyet, Doming, and Brusco AR, and there was nothing. Final slash could be the final way for him before.
Yeah, the
What does that mean?
big beefy lineup that we're seeing from you have Boyet, you also have Lord, you have Bruce AR. So you have more ways to hold your front line, and as well as you have more sustain in early. This is just their own spike blessed the against ONIC Philippines. So with this kind of pressure, I think what you've pointed out early on from Super Friends and Perceive is more of a switch.
Yeah, if you think about it that way, that trade for Lancey was very, very worth it.
At this point, though, we don't have the necessary damage on Evos. The Manana weakness at the moment, they're just using every single skill possible to make it to the point where they won't be able. Nick won't to have go ahead. So there's Lord JM with all this boy 2 kills. Very good factor. The other ONIC Philippines.
Just by thinking about it, it's just slowly a big. You can't escape. Use those petrifies rather, even just possible setup of.
Right.
With this point, they actually would disengage, or they can't just. But we're seeing a different view from ONIC Philippines. They want
A win is a win, right? You'll take whatever you'll take whatever. You know, the gold stance in Windtalker has already here, but he's not really being, which is why 2 items were already secured by that guy. Not to mention there was also a Haas clause being built up as a first item coming in from the gold laner. So this is gonna prepare. They are gathering in from the side.
How do they even prepare? We're at 8 minutes. The lead is not too far yet for ONIC Philippines, but they need to cover the pushes that MNNE has been doing for the past second. So this gives Nets a chance to space because he was just ganked once, killed once. So maybe at this time that if the rover, speaking of which, can cover some tracks, they just kind of want to put some pressure or a block of vision as they do this.
They're absorbing so much damage here. MNNE.
Whoa, Ryzen
got it. He's gonna go and get that kill there. And that is a huge punish here for ONIC. MNNE just did not respect damage that could come out.
And that is exactly what they need to do, right? Just one person. If the Grok, Fredrin, or even the Yuzong is away, that's the time for them to strike.
That is the vision. The vision of ONIC Philippines. If they do this over and over again, that's just
Bruce will make it for the end. This is a final to use here for retribution. Who's gonna get it? Oh yeah, there you go. That's gonna be the kills coming in as well.
Oh, wait.
Time around though. Man, their region and nerf enough to slow down Ryzen.
That was a beautiful takedown coming in from the side of their gold lead. It was minimized. It dropped down to just 300 gold.
100
something
now.
pretty. They won't be. There's an extended team fight. There's the Idithel. There's and that was the for them back on this and might even take the lead for themselves.
yeah, the big beefy lineup as English there. So how hell the patch right now? Yuzo is doing a lot of work, specifically looking beyond just the items. I feel like Blitz even rate on it could actually balance the department.
Yeah, it's getting through the BBC, the big beefy comp. You just overthink it. That's
Nice,
the problem
okay,
with you.
calm. Okay.
Big beefy position.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Thanks for
Robert.
clearing that up, Rockhard.
Yeah.
All right, that's you got me out of character there, bud. But okay,
You guys got it.
yeah, my bad. I understand. And now, as we look at it, the main leader of the goal is gonna be none. Doesn't give any sort of care onto what boots that could really out. I think the Malefic Roar and Nets from the ONIC gold laner. The pressure was being alleviated as well by the rest of the members. That's why the farm is so greedy Super Friends was just out there dealing the damage.
Yeah, basically, and when just so but they're doing it under the tower.
Completely take down Lord Jam and Brusco AR. Chase, that's the AR, boy, the AR lock up. Oh, he's still sustained, he's about to.
Oh my goodness. So ONIC was like, what? Lancy up there.
Waiting, ONIC just waiting. They don't have vision on where's the gold laner of Minana right now. And
Another reset.
another reset. Yeah, Filipino dance, and you get a lot of resets.
Yeah.
This happens a lot.
Really good for them if you think about it. I think they need to friends. Maybe has to be more careful. He has a black shoes, but or the but that's not gonna be if if Minana goes on full dive on you again.
But who's gonna dive though? Lance AR's trying to slowly dive against Super Friends. Nobody.
There's the wall.
Nobody's trying. Okay, they don't know where dominant ARs, but I know at some point they would know.
Don't tell me to reset
It's
again.
another
No,
reset,
please, no,
isn't it?
there's a
oh,
call.
there's a conceal. There's a conceal.
No,
It has to happen now. Oh, they're too far away, aren't they? Oh, there it is. There's the very
Oh!
but Ryzen still gets the retribution. And everyone just getting cleaned up here. 2 for none. And the Lord to boot. That's 4K for ONIC.
Lancy might get in trouble, but no, he's still safe. ONIC Philippines with the question, how the hell did they sustain that on double? It falls down.
That was a safe takedown. Coming in, Evo's ONIC Philippines was able to take down too, but unfortunately for them, Nets was caught in the process, and it looks like
Reds.
Doming is next.
And nice effort. But no. You're actually more needed in mid.
Yeah.
We need you to clear this. What do you do?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, that's the
Oh
wall
my
block
goodness.
from the Grok. So that
Alright.
was just completely
He bought time. That's good though.
yeah,
for
but that was
Minana.
dominant AR. That was the Brody. And
wait.
Final slash on the Lance AR looking for a way.
Lancy.
Oh, he's back.
Nice black shoes right there for Minana. ONIC just giving them what they want right now. And I would say losing just one inhibitor turret, that's already best case scenario if you are on the red side right now.
Yeah, and they're taking the purple out of Minana Evos as well from Boyet AR. So it leads slowly with ONIC Philippines. How's the replay going here for you, Soda?
It was a beautiful takedown coming in from the side of ONIC Philippines because Ryzen was stuck in a very good position that was very clear on the Lord side. It was also the initiation coming in from Lord JMAR that helped them to just sustain a little bit further, but unfortunately for them, both Nets and Super Friends had a moment to themselves, had space for themselves to actually deal a bunch of damage, and it also translates with the items that they already have right now.
Yeah.
Ice Queen 1 is very much helpful in terms of team fights because you slow the other members down even when some of them already have the quantum charge. I'm talking about Doming at this point. Maybe it's what saved him to break Nets onto the top side, but he was also punished in that area.
Well, speaking of punish, that's one thing that Minana Evos doesn't need to keep on doing from their side, because looking at the gold, or Nets is just leading the pack here, and Dominate R as Hans is trying to break down the bits and pieces of how this damage can go in team fights. They need more damage this time to answer against ONIC Philippines. This is their window. The late game is their window, and with the momentum catching up from the side of the Yellow Hedgehogs, this is just them completely having a great way, and they need to close the game if they want to get the series.
Yeah, Nets right now seem to be in the lead, and he's definitely one of the most consistent players here for ONIC. Always does the job you give to him. And again, if Minana wants to take him out, they have to commit so much, right? So,
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because if you're the side of ONIC, I have to say, it's a very nice set of battle spells that could continue to help them later on. ONIC is very much aware that the only thing Minana Evos is gonna look at and look for is gonna be Super Friends and Nets, which is why they prioritized focusing on the Purify instead of Flicker or any other else out there that would be defensive or offensive for them. Meanwhile, Minana Evos, their only main damage leader at this point is gonna be none other than Doming AR. So ONIC Philippines, eyes on point. They have to be precise onto how they can locate Doming AR, because if they don't, then maybe it's a free hit.
Okay, speaking of location, they spotted Lancy AR and Brusco AR. So they managed to bring down a bit of an HP, but they're just looking for a wave to even hold. But there's a conceal coming in from MNNE Evos. What's the call here?
Here we go again. The problem with MNNE Evos, you go for the full commit, and if you don't make it work, you're down by a lot of
They
skills.
could be punished though.
That's a big
They could be punished.
possibility here coming in for ONIC. And they are going to play it a little bit safer than I thought they would. If I was ONIC, I would have gone full commit. But then again, that's the reason why they are still pretty much in the lead here.
Oh!
Beautiful entrance, but bad ultimate activation here. The angle from Perks, it was just way too far.
It was so close. I mean, the space, the wall was there, but unfortunately, it didn't hit the mark as
angle,
much.
man.
Right? We're talking about the angles at this point. It needs to have like a hypotenuse or something. Now, scratch that. I'm not gonna talk math.
No.
Yeah,
It's just
so,
a miscalculation.
yeah, I'm not gonna do that anymore.
From Perksiva. It could have been a better set. It could have been a takedown from Lance AR, but he had the ultimate of Super Friends or the Lilia. That was the reset, but look at that. Gem
Speaking
is
of
just pumped
ultimates,
through.
all the ultimates are back online, but the problem is MNNE's jungler gonna fall right away even before the whole fight starts. Lancey already using the final slash for MNNE.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness. But look, ONIC members are low. Mortasi's going down here. Jam. Oh, Super Friends for MVP in this game, no doubt, right? No doubt about it.
No doubt. At this point, Super Friends is him.
What a
he's just showcasing why there's a super, and he's the prince of ONIC Philippines, right? He's just dishing out a bunch of damage, and then from there, use the black shoes. He hasn't even used his Purify at this point. It's just safety. It's just security. And he's letting, or ONIC Philippines is letting Super Friends do his thing while they get their sword. And now that the inhibitor is absolutely gone, this might be the kill.
Yeah, especially if they catch Lancey, which they do. What are you gonna do now? Free man defense coming in from MNNE, but it's looking very difficult for them to clear, especially without Lancey here.
The base.
Near. That's gonna be the base going down. We got a 1-0.
Wow. That winning moment is brought to you by our official sponsor, FWD Life Insurance. In that game, ONIC Philippines had a greater answer in the late game. We've seen how MNNE Evos go straight up. Go had an advantage in early game, and ONIC Philippines got a grip on how to turn things around.
Yeah, and I think ONIC figured out the big problem with MNNE's BBC. It was very one-sided. Once you go activate once they hear that.
Calculations of the jump, it was in a micro. Once you use that resource out of you.
In the early portions of the game, we saw MNNE Evos were willing to actually exhaust most of their ultimates to be able to get those objectives. But the thing is, at this point in the game, if you've reached the later portions, you need every ultimate you can, right?
Yeah.
That's where they went.
They were good. They were good with.
Looks like ONIC magic works in the game number one. Go ahead, Hans, break things down a bit on what happened in that game.
Objectives, kills, objectives. We're gonna go objectives. That is what ONIC Philippines has mentioned, and that's what they went for as they took game number one in this best of 3 series against MNNE Evos in a very wonderful matchup that actually translated into the later portions of our game. And it is no question, together with that wilderness boost, or wilderness blessing rather, together with that lethal ignition as well, Super Friends is your MVP. Speedy 2, 0, and 10 unscathed at this point. It's really going to help us get the A rank, and with an Ice Queen wand, Genius wand, and even the Lightning Truncheon to help him out a bit is something that is really commendable about this very good, and he has maintained himself wherein be able to dish out a ton of damage while not really compromising his very own safety, because there were times where he wasn't even using his purified just yet. He's just in a very good position to bring them all down. And taking a look at the MVP highlights right now, there was a moment where Minana was actually leading at some point, because you have to give it to them as well. They really exploited the weakness of the side of ONIC because they knew that there wasn't going to be enough early game damage. However, ONIC did a pretty good job to try to alleviate the pressure, even when you already saw the screen, right? It was Nets being pressured in like the early portions of our game, but you have to take note of what ONIC did to make sure that they would be able to turn the tides and change the way things will go for their victory. And this is where I believe things made a blunder for the side of MNNE Evos, because upon taking the Lord, the Tigers were able to do that, but the thing is, there were so many overextensions. They were getting the right people, they were getting nets, but the thing is, they were also getting caught at some processes, and it's the difficult moment for them, because you want to have most of your members, especially in like the later moments of the matchup, wherein there's an abundance of damage coming in from the side of ONIC Philippines. You'll need every setup that you can get. You'll need the wild charge, you need the tortoise poisons, you even need the black dragon form, and even the second skill coming in from the Yuzong to just be able to dish out the setups necessary, so that when all of those were already, accumulated and pushed down to the side of ONIC Philippines, then the Brody could dish out a bunch of damage. But Doming wasn't able to do that. He started the first 5 minutes with a 1-1-1 and stayed there because he just wanted to be safe, and safety is not an option for the side of ONIC Philippines as they take this game. Ryzen from the 16-minute up until the 20-minute mark was magnificent in bringing down a bunch of the jungle objectives. He was really prioritizing the river at this point, even though he doesn't really have the wilderness blessing as his emblem. It is still a major thing for the Fredrin to be able to go from one place to another to assist his teammates. Maybe try to go for a little gank on the bot side before transitioning into the top lane to go for the Lord Pit. And even when there were moments that Ryzen wasn't able to actually get the Lord objective, because one of those Lords came in and arrived for the side of MNNE Evos, and I believe that was the very first one, but it reached the point wherein they were also unable to secure a bunch of turrets, something that ONIC Philippines has done very well up to this point, getting 2 Lords, even lacking 1 turtle coming in from the side of ONIC. The orange buff and the purple buff is where it got for the side of MNNE Evos, because there was no one who could really deal the burst amount of damage that was necessary, because Doming needed to stay in the back lines, because again, he's the only source of damage. You don't have any other else. Lancey's gonna be there, but he continuously copies the black shoes, and if you take a look at the composition, you're gonna have either the final slash or the black shoes. You can't really copy Nets' ultimate because it's more on the physical damage aspect. So if you're Lancey at this point, okay, I'll just go with the black shoes, but that doesn't deal damage like the feathered airstrike, like the real world manipulation of some sort. So if he thinks about copying the final slash, then they'll have 4 setup ultimates, but not enough damage, and this has been the problem for the side of MNNE Evos. They have so many ways to land on team fights, but no follow-up, no damage, and the abundance of damage came from the side of the, because again, you have Nets who's farmed pretty well because of the Haas clause, and also the addition to what has been the pressure relieved and alleviated from the gold laner. It was Ryzen, Super Friends, Gem, and Perxiva who had an average of at least 67 to 70% kill participation, and Nets was just there, dishing out damage when necessary, and when he was prepared, he just told the guys out. Guys, okay, I'm ready to take an action. Damage taken goes into the hands of MNNE Evos, because again, they have the beefy lineup, just like what my co-casters has mentioned a while ago, but being the sponge is not enough if you don't have the damage to back it up, and that is the reason why the side of ONIC Philippines has managed to win game number 1. I am ecstatic for what's about to happen. We saw MNNE Evos actually land, double supports from before. This time, they tried double tank, but unfortunately, it didn't work.
I'd say it feels like triple tank at this point.
Yeah. Speaking of triple,
I missed one.
yeah, we've been missing the sustain. We've been missing the tanks. Was Benedetta even considered back then in the first game? but somebody it was even banned.
I don't think so.
Because as we watch out for the next draft in this game, you should watch out for the weekly giveaway that will be posted in the MBL Philippines Facebook page for a chance to win your very own Smart Bro devices. Mechanics to join of the giveaway will be posted after this weekend's tournament. So be sure to stay tuned and follow MBL Philippines to get more of the mechanics and win these devices for yourself and get connected wherever you are and watch MBL Philippines. Stay safe. That's some safety that we are trying to remind with our watchers, especially this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. So that was one thing. So going back, how will MNNE Evils address this? How will they look for their winning mix again? Because
Maybe they need the smart game face.
if we go and look back for the game face, we're on the smart game face of the day. MPL Arena. The next game face of the day winner. Who will it be? Just flash the hashtag power of a smart device in the green background and put on the game face. That's it.
We have a winner.
I think this is the winner. You have the expression, you have the energy, and that's the winner of a game of the day. It's Saturday, and he wins.
And that guy is part of my top 5 smart game face of the day faces.
Yeah, you're gonna compile that, by the way.
Yeah.
Make that a TikTok.
Congratulations. to you.
Congratulations.
You got the
You're
prize.
top 5.
You just won a redeemable in-game code. Wow, with just energy, expression, and the right amount of game.
What about that?
Bombastic side, whatever you call it. That's how you
Bombastic
win.
side eye. But
That's
he
how
didn't
you
do a side eye at that point. Was
Bombastic front eye.
He's like, I'm gonna kill you face. So,
yeah, that doesn't sound cool. But
it doesn't, but yeah.
That's how you like. I want to
don't
bounce
wanna-
back in the game.
I don't want to face that guy. So
You don't wanna
okay,
face
you get
that
the prize.
guy?
You get the prize.
First of all, if you're playing with that guy, you don't want to lose.
Yeah. Because he's gonna mean mug you all the way.
You don't
That
wanna-
doesn't sound good.
Imagine you're up against that because in MPL Philippines we had this thing of the longest pterodon right from RSG.
Yeah.
Light.
Yeah.
And Brusco.
And
Who's
Brusco.
playing right now?
I don't know if you can do that, if you can, win against that guy, but
I don't know if
you
we're
can
gonna
try.
We can see. We can't wait for that. I don't know if some of our awesome productions that would have a statistic on who has the longest teardown. Because right now we're talking about a game phase that needs to go back in MNNE Evils if they want to bounce back in this game. It started really good for them in the early game, but in terms of like getting the hold of the rope in the mid game, it was a bit of a struggle for them. And they were relying on the damage of the Irithel alone, but from
That's
that
true.
one death, they slowed everything down from that point.
I feel like they had a dive comp which they used, but they had everything, and the damage was okay. There was a Valentina, there was a Cody. I keep thinking about that last pick. Maybe that was like a damaging drone.
Yeah.
I mean,
More helpful for them.
A DR?
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about the Valentina was actually put in a very difficult position because the Valentina was picked around like the first phase of the draft, wherein there were a lot of options still for the side of ONIC Philippines, and it reached the point where okay, I'm just black shoes at this point. There's no other ultimate for me to copy, so it was inevitable. It was something that was or bound to happen.
you just had to wait for it.
Yeah.
You had to wait for it to happen.
Yeah.
Poke out something from Valentina. He's in the black shoes. It was just terrible to see that. Instead of you being going safe on your own base. So we kind of expect in a way from game number 1 to have a different result. Maybe in a different standpoint that if the draft turns out to be a different one, since we're checking on either the assassin or the marksman, or no, the fighter or the assassin picks, maybe from their comfort alone, how they went from week 1 and 2, if they took a page from that and translated to success in this game with the new meta, I think that could actually work.
That scary thing for MNNE is it felt like they were comfort picks,
It was. It was.
They didn't pick anything crazy or anything,
Which was
No.
again, they had the Yuzong, which was a very good counter towards the NFL.
Midnight loves it.
But yeah, and Midnight loves dragons as well. But unfortunately for them, Rockhart was right. They didn't use it as much. They didn't, fully abuse the composition that they've had a point where there was no longer any way for them to bounce back because the side of ONIC Philippines already got the scaling. And I just have to say, put on the analyst mask aside, Banoobs, it's not looking good, man. It's not looking good.
man.
It's currently 5-1 all time.
Yeah, and you need to walk that talk.
Yeah, Boss A is feeling godly right now.
Yeah, even though in that banter he's a baby, he's happy that not by just not being a dinosaur right now.
I mean,
So yeah, let's head on to the draft. It's game number 2. Let's see how this goes for MNNE Evos. Will they go for comfort? We know them with their strengths. We know them with their team fights. We know how their playstyle works if they choose their own comfort. Let's see how this goes with their own priority. Will they go back to the Benedetta? Will they go back to the Ethan once again? Let's see how this draft goes. We're looking at MNNE Evos being on the blue side, which gives them an opportunity to secure their most comfortable strong pick. If the Matilda gets banned here, or just by being stolen the first pick, I think that could give a way for MNNE Evos to even fly back to get to game number 3.
I love the idea that they finally went onto the blue side rather than the red, because again, they can have an adjustment to the next 2 picks that the side of ONIC Philippines will make, because that is what brought them demise in like the first game, because the Valentino was stuck in like a very difficult position. So now that both of the teams are starting to leave the Valentino open, Edith and Novaria are actually out, and MNNE, for the first time this season, we're not going to be seeing a Lilia. Instead, it's going to be in the banning phase, something that we haven't seen in a very long time, right?
It's a good
Lilia.
change up. Yeah, isn't it? So, obviously, Lilia is so good because of the changes again to Lilia. They nerfed and they buffed him again.
They missed out.
They
It's supposed to be
ranked
versus.
Oh,
ver-
no.
It's supposed to be versus Tigers, man.
Yeah.
They have their chance. But going
Yeah,
back to
their
what you were
chance.
saying,
Wait. Before Arahart's point, Matilda's open, by the way.
Yeah, do it. I mean, just do it. Just go for the Matilda. Don't.
yeah.
It's still good right now. It's
Go,
still good
Shaya.
right now.
Oh, it makes sense.
Okie dokie.
It makes sense. It makes complete sense. Because again, Angela and Matilda are some of the best supports in the current game that we have right now. Angela, if you want to pick up more or less like a Lancelot, I mean, Martis is still open. Martis and Angela is a very good combination. If you also want to go for a Fredrin, go ahead. Be
Angela's
my guest.
easy game.
It's something that was used by ONIC Philippines a while ago, and this time they finally have a way to extend team fights. And if there's something that we know from the side of MNNE, it's team fights. It's an average of 70% for all 5 members whenever they go to team fight.
Yeah, that's their strength. That has been their identity in how they would really want to bounce back, because we see them do this up against world champs, and it's not impossible to do it again. So with the priority of Angela, though, you've mentioned about team fights, you've mentioned about the utility still in the Fredrin. With this point that we're seeing from Super Friends and how he was really getting a good amount of coverage from the early to mid game, being the Lilia, how about now with the Matilda? This is a great way for the Irrital to even have a good time in the gold lane.
All right. Baksha's here. We saw, obviously, Baksha just so good. To be fair, I thought Baksha was going to win last game because usually it's really good against a Frederick who relies so much on regenerating his HP. And the passive of the Baksha just destroys that. They won. Anyway, in the draft index, obviously, definitely better for the Sonics, I would say. More control on DPS and more objective focus. That's exactly what you want to see. They have a very well-rounded 3 picks, I would say.
Yeah, I'm just going to be interested here on what Super Princess Hero will be. Because they're still missing a little bit on like the burst department. Because you have Irithel as like damage per second ally. You also have the Baksha, who's gonna be the tank, the sponge. Similar to what Fredrin and Brody are gonna do. If you're taking a look at both of the teams right now, it's a mirror move for both of them.
That's right.
There's a support, there's a gold laner, and there's someone who can sponge things up and keep the fight going.
In short, this trio of MNNE can fight against the trio of ONIC. It will look like a 50-50.
You know what? Just start the fight already.
Start the
No,
fight
I'm kidding.
already.
I'm kidding.
No XP, no mid.
All mid.
We can go. Let's see who wins there.
It's good to see that both of them had a great start, especially in the draft. Because comparing for what happened from game number one and the draft from the draft went from Menana Evils, it was leaning towards isolation, early to mid. From the rounded decision making here, they also wanted to secure the EXP. It's good that they took out the Terizla and the Yuzong.
Yeah.
In a way, it's a problem. So since they have more ways to have extended team fights, who will they go for here? Will they go? Well, I was about to say the Paquito.
Good one on the Paquito man.
Yeah, because if you're looking security for marksman, the Paquito has been dealing a lot of plays today, and not to mention a lot of punches and knockups and a lot of CCs being thrown over your marksman, and that is dangerous. If you're hoping for a winning condition, that's just a marksman that you need to have a late game insurance with.
I'd prefer Paquito for the side of ONIC Philippines just because
Yeah.
they already have the back shot and they need access from the back lines to go up against the Brody, because that's going to be trouble if the Paquito goes into the other hands of, talking about Minana Evos at this point. However, Minana Evos, knowing that there aren't a bunch of XP laners left on the table because Arlo, Terizla, Yuzong, and the Paquito is now gone, maybe they can pick up the Martes to go with the Angela and put Fredrin onto the XP lane. That's the flexibility that they have at this point just because they have the Fredrin on their side. Not to mention, they still need a little bit more in terms of like the mid lane, or what if Angela goes into the mid lane and Perks just decides to use the Kufra once again like he always does.
Maybe something
That's a good
else.
point.
I feel like it's being read too easily. And
Right?
Kufra, good luck on the Kufra because this time we have shielding coming from the
there's
Batilda.
so much.
So it's not going to be as cut and dry compared to before. Valentina coming in here, I would say pretty good. But still, that means they also have hard guard. So that's a big bonus for me.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. It's a way better Valentina game now compared to game number one. Because
Yeah.
the only thing you copy in game one is black shoes and you're donezo. This time, you have the hard guard. You're now going to be a little bit more proactive.
Finally.
But there
Come
we
on,
go.
finally.
End the show. Okay.
We were talking about the EXP lane Benedetta that gave them a win. Stick to that.
Lord JM just said, Coach, put me in.
Put me in.
Put the Benedetta in.
This is it. I love it. I love it.
It wasn't even banned game number one, and now they need just to utilize this chance. This is the opportunity for Minana Evos to push to game number three. With the Cho at hand, how do you think of that? This now balance things? You were expecting kind of a Kufra to mostly give out that setup, because yes, the Angela could aid that longer team fights and follow up, but with the setup of ONIC Philippines, how do you put them in a corner and burst everything down?
It feels easier because no one actually can block the Cho or negate the Cho except for the even if you're a Batilda. But there you go.
It's also a tricky part coming in from the show because the timing is going to be of the essence, especially if they want to stop the back shield unity. We're starting to see the draft index right now, and again, Rockhard was mentioning that it's more of like a well-rounded lineup coming in from the side of ONIC Philippines. But if you take a look at the sustaining factor, just because the Angela is there, it's leaning onto the side of Minana Evos. However, ONIC Philippines can just easily copy the hard guard.
Yeah.
And you do the same thing as well. So it's really going to be up to execution at this point.
That's something that the index doesn't show. The Valentina's possibilities of
The situational moments, right?
Yeah, giving more sustain as well. So let's see if that's going to be a factor coming in this game. I would say that Lancy should have a better time here. Or no, rather, yeah, maybe. I think better time.
Let's see who
Just maybe, right?
is
No, I
going to
have a fun
have
time,
a
bro.
better time right now. ONIC Philippines is now on match point in this best of three series, and we're taking a look at the composition that we're trying to see the possibilities with. Lord JM finally back on the Benedetta, and let's see how this goes for ONIC Philippines. Will they have this for a sweep, or will Minana Evos take this to a tiebreaker once more?
The main concern that I have here with some of the Banana Evos is the fact that they don't have magic damage. and Angela at this point, which is why I'm not going to be surprised if Lancy AR will start to build an enchanted talisman first instead of prioritizing the new item, which is the Flask of the Oasis that boosts the regenerative factor coming in from the support heroes that are now part of the meta. Talking about emblems right now, more on the Wilderness Blessing once again, where 2 heroes coming from the side of MNNE Evos and 2 heroes as well from the side of ONIC Philippines will be using it. Both tenacity for the marksmen to keep themselves in the situation or inside the fight, whereas adaptiveness will be added to the Brody to at least assist him in the early portions of the matchup.
Completely agree, especially for Ryzen. If he just chooses to go for Blade Armor, everyone's just not gonna do damage.
Right.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be a long game.
That Baksha is gonna be unkillable.
Just imagine having more team fights with his own composition. I can't imagine the balance right now in just team fights for MNNE Evos. But who am I to question their own strength that they gave them a point out of the world champs?
You are OSX.
Yeah,
You
man.
always
Have the right.
Yeah, man. But because this is just them, it's a prowess. Just by that, folks, it's just gathering them up for all in, just as that.
In terms of possibilities, I think the Benedetta just has so much possibility here. Because Lord JM, I will say this over and over again. Just give this guy a gun. Give this guy a really high mechanical hero, a Benedetta. He's gonna do magic. Look at this. Right now, he is actually styling and profiling right now, hunting down that Matilda, looking for more targets right now. That is, of course, Gem, who has that Firaga armor back. That means he can sustain, but look at him. It's so hard to stop him. He gets first blood still.
Still, MNNE Evos winning that one, a sacrifice of 1 from Lord JMAR, and they're not stopping. Eyes on the purple, Super Fins on the bush though. Ruska dropping low on health as well. So it's clear the Tigers slowly winning early game, Hans.
Lord JM just means just move, right? Lord just move at this point. It's something that you have to do, but at one point, you also have to take care of your teammates. What a wonderful initiation coming in from Super Friends to equalize the situation. And just when we thought it's going to be a better game for Lancy, hold your horses, because Super Friends is back at it again.
I think it's just micro. You misheard it. Just mechanics, just micro.
Just mechanics, just micro. Yeah, you got that right. Fair enough.
Because that's all he wants. He just wants to move. You give him freedom to move. If AMS, you can move, but you don't do damage.
That's true.
You on the Pakito, you move, you kill someone. Same on the Vendetta, you move, someone goes down. So yeah, just move can also work.
All right, the comfort right now of Lord Jim having the Benedetta on his hands. Man, he was just so slippery back in the back line of ONIC Philippines, and they were all using all the resources to catch him. Start with diversion.
Even right now.
Look at that. Just looking for a way to take him down. Pressure is just boiling up to the EXP lane. While all of that is happening, we're looking at Perksiva and as well as Nets trying to get a hand of a kill out of Dominator. Because one of the things that we're looking upon here is the damage department. You guys mentioned this because ONIC Philippines has balance in damage and magic.
It's the same scenario for the marksman department. It's still Nets using the Erethel. It's also Doming using the Brody. And unfortunately for the side of MNNE Evos, we haven't seen Brody that much in action because all of the action is happening here at the EXP lane. Lord JM is forcing the rest of the members of ONIC to react to him. Gem is not really having like the worst time, but he needs to be able to stay in this lane as Benedetta is one of the fastest to roam around the map.
Seems to be fine right now. Dominana might have problems here. Nope. Still going to be Boyet securing that turtle. It's free V4, and the sustain is just so much better here for MNNE that they're able to disengage, not giving anything to ONIC.
Nobody fall down. Completely just the objective. On to MNNE Evos having a great start. Even by just looking at the trade, Horizon is just looking for a way to take this orange on for himself.
That was a great pick up coming in from Brusco DR to just use the Way of the Dragon to put the wheel away, to put the huge tanky hero, which is Ryzen, out of the way for them to be able to get that turtle as of this moment. So this is a very good second turtle that was secured by the side of MNNE. However, there were rotations that are being made again by the side of ONIC Philippines to stop them on their tracks. It's still a very close game, but in terms of the scaling, if they keep this longer, this might side ONIC just because of the fact that Nets is there. Nets is the guy to go.
Yeah, Nets so far having a fun time. Look at this guy. He's already double leather jerkin. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. And 2 daggers.
Man.
He's got all the casual chop suey items.
Yeah, chop suey is like a vegetable
Mixy mix.
dish where you mix all the things together just for everyone that doesn't know it. So
Yeah.
now you know.
It's a dish in the Philippines with is actually a
Is
side
it just
dish.
Philippines?
Maybe Chinese.
Yeah,
Chinese,
that's,
right?
yeah, that's probably how we call it here.
Yeah,
but,
it's
yeah.
a mix of everything, and I think with that kind of decision from Nets, he answers more of the early game spike of Minana Evos, and there's the stealing keeps on happening. Who got it though? Oh, yeah, Onyx.
He's gonna try. but
He was
He
trying.
doesn't have retribution, so pretty slim chance. Nice energy eruption here from Boyet. Get some of that attention from Brusco. Make sure he's safe and comfy there. And make sure he's ready to go for the kick here. Maybe on the mid lane. Maybe does he have Flicker? He's gonna go for it. Flicker is possible. Doesn't even need it. Has a
no.
Purify. Super Friends gonna stay alive.
That's the Purify doing the work for Onyx. Super frenzied away. Although he had an Angela, he's still gonna go out safe.
Super Friends, I think, also still has the Heart Guard. Yeah. So he's going to be able to maybe use it to make sure Ryzen secures this retribution. But look at that, Boyet already has the
Look at him go.
preemptive Heart Guard, and that's going to be the steal. Or I would say the 50-50 going over to Ryzen with the TP up front.
That was a great pickoff coming in from the side of Minana Evos, or rather ONIC Philippines, as they got the turtle for themselves. It's going to be the first turtle secured by the Sonics at this point. But again, a return of gameplay. This time, it's Minana Evos who's actually giving a dose of Onyx medicine to ONIC themselves, because they're finally getting the first turret of this matchup, and this is something that, Minana hasn't done in game number 1. They weren't able to translate those skills, or maybe even when the kills weren't happening, if ONIC exhausts most of their resources, then that's the time for Minana to at least get a bunch from the other sides of the map, get more turrets, get more jungle objectives, and it's nice that they're finally doing that. However, ONIC made sure to back it up with their very own up top.
That's the reset kicking in for the Neon Tigers, getting a chance here for ONIC Philippines. And just by looking at you guys just mentioned early on, it was even a slow start even before the turret takedowns, because they're most likely capitalizing on their own momentum, especially with the items. Look at that initiation from Perxiva though.
Oh, that's very aggressive right there, and that's exactly what you get with the Matilda. That's why you pick it up with a Heart Guard.
Oh no!
Man, Nets is gonna be so scary here. Going straight for Boyet as well. Again, just trying to buy up some of that cooldown for the torn apart memory. And now, I think ONIC, they got what they wanted. But look at JM. He's doing his job. He's doing his thing.
Oh, he got
Certainly Eagle, though. Oh, man, that's a good way to go down. You bought some time, but you didn't get any kills. I would say that's the best case for JM.
But still, he managed to take down the turret.
He got a
down mid.
turret, exactly.
It's just slowly but surely for Minana Evos right now, Hans.
He's playing proactively at this point. You love to see it coming in from Lord JM to just always be part, or not even be part of those fights, but again, stay as of the moment. Beautiful guiding wind coming in from the rest of the members to just keep in all the action, because again, it was Perxiva who almost died in that skirmish down bot, but he made sure that the guiding wind, together with an extra favor onto the roam department, would keep him safe, give him extra shields from the torn apart memory, and keep him away from distraction.
The distance right now, it's Minana Evos' game to make it all work. It looks like everything's going to be slippery. Look at that. Initiation is about to happen.
Wow, that's a messy team fight. I don't even want Ryzen, though. Still will secure Viscer. That's pretty big. Jam, good pressure on the domain.
Down from ONIC Philippines.
Boy.
They're taking this mid turret for themselves, and they're pushing slowly with that 3-man. Evos complete, they're winning, and they're just looking for a way to end this faster than they could have. Wow. Completely having a change even from the lead, and Minana is now pushed to a state to even defend.
I was just wondering what Lancy was doing in the skirmish itself. He won, and then when all go hell and loose, that's the time for you to strike. But speaking of which, Lord JM,
Oh man, the mechanics will not be enough to save him this time. That is just a sad sight to see.
With the immortality present from Gem right now, they can actually go full-on hard damage against Minana Evos. They're left with 3 turrets, in their own base, and just by looking at the gold here, Nets is the horizon up, and probably has more items to answer for MNNE Evo's to stay in.
When you see a Benedetta just falling like that so quickly, so easily, even with everything that the Benedet's doing, that's a bad sign.
You got a problem.
You got a problem in your hands.
Unfortunately, that is the case. That is a problem that the side of MNNE Evos has to address at this point. Because again, even you still have to give props to Doming AR, right? Being close in terms of like the damage department towards Nets as well, coming in from ONIC Philippines. But again, if we have to take note of what MNNE needs to do to be able to bounce back in this game, it's just that they just need to use the wave clear potential that they have. Wait for an opportunity or a blunder coming in from ONIC Philippines. Maybe a mistaken circling eagle, but that's the thing with the patch right now, right?
No, bro.
It's so difficult to do.
No,
if it's the previous patch, maybe a blunder circling eagle would have worked, but this time you have direction. You know where your destination is gonna be.
It's one direction for ONIC Philippines with the pickup of this Matilda. Perksiva having so much perks and 4 initiations. He's just getting on a full frenzy setup most of the time. Super Friends, another major pickup, and with that kind of penetration, without the balance of magic from MNNE Evos, there's so much thing that they need to answer. How's their defense now working for them? How's the damage working for them? Because if attack damage is concerned, how will they take this to a longer team fight? Because as of now, another purple could be stolen from them, and ONIC Philippines just here.
Just watching. They no longer can do anything but again a kick.
That's going to be beautiful here. Brusco can't really get in a position where the kick is going to matter. Everyone just got knocked up there. Beautiful flight of Perksiva. JM with the last insanity, just doing so much. Man, oh man, ONIC looking fire. I mean, for Gem, that's literal, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, the roar was only the cost of ONIC Philippines. They're still winning. They're still pushing. How's MNNE doing now?
Well, there's JM.
no.
Oh, it hurts. Ow! Man, what is Nets up? What do you have for breakfast? I wanted to get me some of that.
There's no safety for Lord JM, even from the few hits of the arrows coming from this Irithel alone.
Nets is, my goodness, like 1,000 damage per hit. I don't know, man.
You can parry everything. You can eye for an eye. But once you just squint or just, peeked a little bit, then you're done. That is Nets right now. On to at least a full build at this point, if I'm suspecting. He already has a Berserker's Fury, a Malefic Roar, even Hasklos. Heck, he doesn't even have a full build just yet. The final item is going to be the Wind of Nature. My goodness, the Wind of Nature. He is so offensive to the point that he no longer cares about the defensive item. Go ahead and give me something.
Bro, they have the Matilda. They have more ways to even have us. Oh, somebody got set up here.
Yeah, good setup. And again, Brusco finally found the target, but it's in the wrong angle. And no one to follow it up as well. That's on top side, doing a solo on that turret, while everyone is on mid, just trying to get some of these attentions. Boyet getting burned to a crisp here by Gem. Gem doing a good job as well in here. He still has immortality, so he's still a viable front line. Will be able to at least burn down that Lord.
They're just pushing.
Lord JM, he's trying to buy some time, trying to see if he can still keep this base alive. Turret will fall on top side. Oh my god, it's just MNNE catching for breath here.
Okay, how will they even hold this? ONIC Philippines just pushing, looking for a way to just take this final turret down against MNNE Evos. How's the defense now? How can they even hold this? Is there even a way, Hans, right now, to just even a chance? But hold that thought.
Everyone, it's a party right here in ONIC Philippines camp. That would have been a beautiful here, but exactly what they're
at this point. They're 10.2k in, so they just it was already like there were no minions in like the next 5 to 10 seconds, but they just stayed there to prove a point to the side of MNNE Evos that hey, you can use your torn apart memory. We're not gonna care about anything because we're already leading, and we also have Nets who has 13,545, and probably a lot more still growing at this point. Doming also has an entirely full build right now with a Demon Hunter sword together with a Rose Gold Meteor to just give an immense amount of shield once the HP goes down to a bottom. But Rockhard is right. They're being burned down to a crisp because the underrated person here is Gem. Nobody can burst Gem down.
Yeah, that's the problem. When you go overcooked, there's no turning back.
I haven't actually seen Gem pop immortality all game.
Right?
So, he's just there.
I think it's just completely insurance for him, just in
Yeah.
case I'm going to be the first target. But Perxiva, man, all of the things he's just initiating. Oh my goodness,
Perks.
the distance.
Is this the blunder you're talking about, OSX?
Might as
Because
well.
that was a huge one.
Oh, wait.
That's here doing some good damage, but of course that shielding from Lancy is actually massive. Wow. All right, so it's going to be the re-engage here, blocking it up front. Nets is still in the back. He's still doing good
Prince.
with a heavy crossbow, but they're running out
Boy,
of
they
ultimate.
are.
Boy, and they are. He's burned finally. He's used up. But, and again, he is going to have some problems. The backline's looking really thin here for ONIC.
The players of ONIC Philippines, the answer. And that winning moment is brought to you by our official sponsor, FWD Life Insurance. ONIC Philippines, talking about that is insurance. Check your recall, ladies and gentlemen. ONIC
Check
is
your
just completely
recalls.
did a split.
If there were moments of the day where we tell all of the players to take discipline in using the recalls and using the TPs, in this one, you have to press your TPs.
The one time.
The one time.
You need to press the
You had the
recalls.
one time.
Check your recall.
Check your recall.
Guys, I don't even know how to analyze it.
This was the line of
I'm so sorry.
I just said someone just has to go back. Just go back,
It
one
was
of you.
so obvious.
Oh,
It was so
Nobody-
obvious.
that shouldn't
nobody
have
took
happened.
note on the final magic
my
that was
goodness.
working under the base, and they were just completely preoccupied and taking somebody out of ONIC Philippines.
Still, a good try coming in from the side of MNNE EVOS. Lord JM, just like what OSX has mentioned, it was a Harry Styles moment for him. He was styling on all of them,
Styles moment.
right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they all disbanded. Just like One Direction, they all disbanded, and there was no one left to defend the base.
Well, to be fair, they all went one direction, going to the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the enemy took care of them. Or should I
And the
say,
minions.
the
Yeah.
fans. It's the fans,
The
that
fans.
went back.
Yeah.
The fans being the minions.
Yeah, man. And just how the game changes really quick.
That's the first time I've seen that again.
Yeah,
In a long
we
time.
could
In
bring
a
back
long time.
the famous line of the famous rap battle guy from ONIC Philippines back in season 8. Check your recall.
Yeah.
We're about to win by split.
They're
Yeah.
about to win by split.
But it wasn't even split. It was just
Well, someone was splitting the minions.
Someone was splitting.
right, and
Yeah.
they
Wow, what
used
did I
it
just
against
watch?
MNNE EVOS, and they need to check. MNNE EVOS need to check what's happening in a macro scale, because micro-wise, it was happening in game number 1. Game number 2, all of you check your mini maps, because they were all over the place. ONIC Philippines was all over the place. They were painting everything yellow. And who do you answer for that? Even by the defense, I was just trying to put the point. Oh, Hans, how do they put a defense here? And we're not looking at a bigger scale. They're just trying to pull out
Yeah.
MNNE EVOS out of the base.
Yeah.
And all it feels like, finally.
Well, to be fair, that's something
That was the event.
that's something that happens to a lot of our players right now. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You didn't go back. You didn't.
Sorry about Rockhard, guys.
He's
Yeah.
a bit
I
of
have so many teammates that
Yeah.
do that.
Well, good thing. The season is finally reset. It's finally on a
Oh,
reset.
we're back on reset.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I just opened mine.
Mara and I just played a while ago, so that's a good sign, right?
Yeah, what's up, Epics?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
So,
What's up,
Alright.
Epic? What's up, Epic?
What's up, Epic?
What's up, Epic?
What's up, Epic?
yeah, we're gonna grind our way up faster this season.
I hope you're Epic. Yeah.
Teammates, right in my statistics here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Canada
So
was
easy.
my best
Yeah.
pick.
Care of
Next
but
week,
this time. Yeah.
we will take over of the Philippines.
Really.
Okay.
I would global Canada soon.
Okay.
All right. I'll believe you never log in.
I'll give it. Mara, I know there's gonna be one heated interview. Let's throw it over to ONIC Philippines on stage together with Mara Aquino.
All right, everybody. What time is it? It's their time to win today. Congratulations to ONIC Philippines. Perks A, first time kita nakita mag-Matilda, ha? Now, let's talk about what happened game 2 in the final moments. Kasi muntik na kayong... And your... Congratulations. Pero meron pa akong isang iniisip na bumawi din.
Agad eh.
Nasa isip, bakit sila agad? Ano yung nasa isip tungkol sa Omega?
Wala. Gusto ko talaga sila durugin. Dudurugin ko. Sila agad.
Meron ka bang mensahe sa specific match and there's some name? Sabi nila si Boss A daw, Boss A. Medyo imposible ata ito sa team. Match IP. Super Friends. Super Friends, matagal na. This season, you guys are slowly climbing up. Ano ba ang gustong patunayan ng ONIC at ano ang mensahe mo sa lahat ng inyong supporters?
Gusto namin patunayan na ipapatya. Gusto ko message sa mga supporters namin. Salamat na sumusuporta kayo.
Alright, sige. Gumaganto na ako, parang gusto ko atang sabihin eh. Parang feeling ko may napatunayan kayo. Nilalayo ko na yung mic, pero you're inching closer to me. So,
Ano sinabi ni Banobs kanina? Sabi niya, ba't tumahimik? Tsaka, bakit wala ipapakita sana ako sa inyo eh.
ano yan? Ano to? May papel? Anong nasa papel? Ano to? Missing. Have you seen this person? Banoob's known traits. Doesn't know how to win. Okay. Wala. Thank you. We'll just leave it at everybody. Let's give a round of applause to ONIC Philippines. You may now take your bow and take your walk. Victory. Aming pakulo ni Boss A. Pero he can walk the walk, talk the talk. Napatunayan nila na sila ang mas magaling na kupunan sa first half ng ating Season 12. Hihimayin natin kung ano nga ba ang nangyari sa ating laban. Balikan na natin ang ating casters. Pasok!
I'm gonna say this one more time. Separate Mobile Legends and older people.
Thanks, OSX.
And,
I told him to say that.
That was fun.
And just by looking at the banter there, Boss A prevailed in that heated exchange in the beginning of the series.
At least.
And Banoobs was nowhere to be found in the venue, and he props.
At least for now.
For now,
For the first half. I mean, it's all fun and games here, but we have to remember we're running on a point system here, so your team better back it up for the rest of the
well,
journey.
Hans, this is your job now. Go ahead, take this analyst stand again.
OSX, next time you throw it to me, please complete your sentences. But, okay, I'm going to go ahead with this one as the side of ONIC Philippines got the victory over MNNE Evos, which was a major play that we've seen from all of them. And one of the MVPs is going to be Nets with the use of the Irithel. A tenacity together with a quantum charge and also a beautiful battle spell choice here, which is the Purify. He knows that one of the priorities coming from the side of MNNE Evos is going to be him, so he needs to stay away from danger. With that, Purify is going to be the main source of, escape here for him. Also building up the Rose Gold Meteor, he has the Malefic Roar and even the Wind of Nature for defensive purposes in case he wants to overextend. And it was all ONIC in like the first few minutes of our matchup and even in the mid portions, because you have to take note of how aggressive the side of MNNE Evos were in the very first minute of the match. Unfortunately for them, it was a heavy punish coming in from ONIC Philippines that left them unscathed there. But the problem is Lord JMAR is also fixated in to the point where he doesn't have when it's time to finally go to the back and reach for the marksman being Nets. So Nets, as you see in the highlights right now, is already at 5-0-3, and that is already a massive lead because 9.3k in a bunch of minutes or maybe in double-digit minutes is already troublesome if you're the side of ONIC Philippines. But again, this is where it didn't even stop because we're gonna a major Perks told us in the interview that it was all according to plan, but okay, Perks, if it's the story, then go ahead. I love to check it out. But the thing that I saw here is that, the side of MNNE Evos or the side of ONIC Philippines were even allowing MNNE to go home. They were allowing MNNE to go home. And unfortunately for them, it was just not enough. The time